Unbelievable!
Will you please act like you have more than a two-word vocabulary?
Is there air? You don't know!
And now, a yak.
Yak!
Hey, don't touch that dial. You found Secular Yakking.
I'm Robert.
And I'm Amy.
After years,
No, many years of yakking at each other.
we're here to yak at you.
So sit back and enjoy the yakking.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful week.
Hope so. Ours is starting to get a little hot.
A little bit hot.
I don't like the heat.
That's fine.
I just don't.
It just is.
It is what it is.
All right, on with the show. On with the show.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a Twitter follower,
Uno.
Atheist on Parade,
Oh.
which kind of cool.
Uno this week, huh?
Yeah, just one.
It's a slow week.
It is a slow week. Oh,
Ah.
well.
That's all good.
All right. Anyway, I guess I'll just get right into the news.
That's usually how we do it.
Yeah. Well, we are having a rally.
Oh, yes. The last time you'll get to say it.
No, until we talk about the rally.
Yep, that's true, too.
So by the time you hear this, it's probably over.
Or we're in the middle of it.
Yeah. Either way, if you're near Olympia, go ahead and come on down to the East Campus North Lawn, and where we talk about separation of church and state and being against Franklin Graham's Decision America tour.
And this is at 11. Correct?
11 a.m.
Okay.
All right. And I was on another show this weekend.
Where are you now?
I was on Ask an Atheist this weekend.
Oh, okay. That's right.
I was talking about the original model project and the rally and invocations and a bunch of other stuff that I do.
Yep, because you're busy.
Yeah. So go check that out. AskAnAtheist.tv.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
That's all the announcement.
It's short and sweet. So now it's to the news, please.
All right. So NASA releases new recruitment posters for Mars.
So, like, anyone?
Well, kind of.
Like, it sounds like they're advertising to not just astronauts.
Yeah. So it says this: the environment is extreme, the days are long, and food will probably not taste that good. But no matter, the brave pioneers NASA is calling upon in its latest poster series.
Oh.
The World War I style recruitment posters ask for explorers, farmers, technicians, and teachers to help build colonies on the Red Planet.
So, sort of the normal common person then.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for.
This is a serious thing?
They're looking for colonists.
Right, of course, exactly.
Not astronauts, not explorers. They're looking for colonists.
Right. To explore the new world.
Really cool. And one of them says, have you ever asked the question, what's out there? So have we. And another poster reads, the curiosity, I'll try that again.
Yeah, please.
That curiosity leads us to explore new places like Mars and its moon, Phobos and Deimos. Just what lies beyond the next valley, canyon, crater, or hill is something we want to discover with rovers and with humans one day too.
Well, that would be really interesting to take that kind of a step.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool.
I mean, it almost sounds like this isn't like a legit thing to me.
But it is. I went to NASA's website,
and
it's really cool. In fact, you want to have a look at them?
Now, isn't it like a one-way destination?
I'm imagining that would... No, because you could be picked back up. It's not like going to...
Well, I guess my point is meaning getting off of Mars to head back.
Well, yeah, that's difficult.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So as of right now, isn't it more like a one-way destination?
More like it, but they're not saying they can't come get them in an emergency. But really, it is a one-way colonization.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. So it's a real commitment. It's like a serious...
Well, if you think about it, colonizing the New World was a one-way trip.
That is true.
I mean, it really was.
Yeah, but you also have to think, though, in all fairness, it wasn't like toxic, can't breathe, gonna die.
It wasn't.
I mean, you're gonna die because of certain elements and stuff, but here it's like step off the plane and you could die.
Well, that's true. But in the same context, that's the same thing that could have happened in the New World. Just not as extreme. I get it.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. I mean, I get that. It's a whole new, unexplored, unknown thing to take that kind of a leap. But it is a little bit more extreme with the fact that it's another planet.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the other thing was a whole new world, but there were humans living there prior to them showing up.
That is true.
Whereas here, not so much.
We just have some robots.
Yeah, who don't need to breathe oxygen. So
True.
It's a little different.
So anyway, if you are one of these type of people, which I wish I was, but I'm really not.
I think it would be totally
I think
cool,
it would be great fun, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not really into that. I'm not a colonizer.
I think it would be
Well,
rather cool.
Unless they need some secular activists on Mars, then yeah, I'm all for it.
I'm going to guess it's not their first priority.
Damn it.
But no, I really think it would be a very awesome thing to do.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it without taking all of you with me. I
Well,
mean,
I know.
you, the girls, I'm thinking if I were to move across country and they're, almost adults right now, I'd still drag their butts right now. So if I can't make that move, I'm not so sure I can make that move.
All right. So let's do another move.
All right, fine.
Plants grown in simulated Mars conditions found safe to eat.
That's interesting. I wonder who ate it first.
They haven't actually eaten it yet.
Well then, so they're just saying technically it's safe to eat.
In greenhouses, and I'm not saying that word, university in the Netherlands.
It starts with a W, and it's a big word.
Yeah. Scientists have been growing a very special crop. Since 2013, an experimental group of plants have been taking root in soil meant to simulate that on the moon and Mars. The research was funded through a crowdfunding campaign in partnership with Mars One. So Mars One was the original recruitment campaign a few years ago.
Right.
Didn't seem to go all that well.
Uh-huh.
And the project hopes to send volunteers on that one-way trip we were talking about.
Yeah, see, I had heard that.
Now, the moon and Mars-like soils were mined on Earth from cinder cone volcanoes, which have a very similar texture to the...
Sandy.
Very sandy.
Yes.
Right.
Like our backyard.
Well, yeah, different kind of sand, I think.
But I can't help but think of the movie Martians. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, The Martian.
The Martian? Is
The
that what it
Martian,
was
yeah.
called? Yeah, it sounds very much sci-fi like that,
yeah. Well, the first step they had was to determine whether plants could even grow in that soil.
Again, thinking the same movie.
Right. So, and they were able to prove that 10 different types of crops did grow. Radishes being one of them. So
radishes grow like so easily.
Yeah, they're horrible.
You just don't like them.
Yeah, radishes, peas, rye, tomatoes, things like that.
Huh.
The next step was to figure out if they could actually be eaten.
Oh,
which it
okay.
appears that 4 of them can for sure. Which radishes, peas, rye, and tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
They're still testing the rest of them.
Yeah, just based on what they're made up of.
Right. So the biggest fear was there were heavy metals like copper in the soil, and they
Right.
thought that might leach into them.
Oh, okay.
Or lead, because that could suck too.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. In fact, their heavy metals were lower than those of crops grown in regular potting soil.
Could almost be healthier
Yeah.
even.
So the researchers are now wondering, does it taste good?
So the question is, who's going to be the guinea pig to try it first?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because Mikey likes it.
Yeah. And we'll see. That'll be kind of cool. Maybe have some Martian crops shipped back to it to see.
And it'll have the label where your food came from.
Those aren't
Mars.
Those aren't GMO at all.
Not one bit.
Anyway,
Yeah.
our next story contains lasers.
Laser. So we're having a whole space Marsy type of theme going on today.
Yeah.
No politics today.
Or
very
Not
little.
yet. Not yet.
Yeah, okay. But so little. I like that.
Okay.
We're doing more sci-fi kind of thing.
Yeah, I got on a Mars kick this week.
Yay.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I saw a story and I thought it was interesting.
I like
Moved on.
doing the sciencey stuff.
So, we're going to talk about frickin' lasers now.
Freaking lasers.
Yeah. For decades, the idea of using lasers as propulsion system for interstellar travel has been a dream of engineers.
Yes.
I myself played with the concept when I was thinking about building a hover cycle.
That's right. God, how many years ago was that?
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how long, at least how long I've known about laser propulsion.
Yeah, because you had the whole design set up for that hovercraft. It was awesome.
So now I have to explain how laser propulsion works just a little bit.
Yeah.
So in the interstellar travel, they have solar sails. So most people know what a solar sail is. Sail, not a cell. It's a large piece of reflective material. Fabric, yeah, basically.
Sort of, kind of.
It's like a giant aluminum foil.
Right. Kind of like
Mylar.
from the movie Armageddon.
Yeah, same
Remember
kind of
when
thing.
they were showing that part?
Yeah, same kind of thing. And what this does is when light hits it, it is so reflective that the laws of physics kicks in and the equal opposite reaction takes over.
Oh, okay.
So the photon hits it and pushes it when the photon goes the other way. So
All
there's
right.
a loss of energy, but it does provide acceleration.
Right. A push is what I was
Right.
thinking, yeah.
In theory, with a large enough solar cell and a powerful enough laser, you could propel a spacecraft at 20% the speed of light in 4 minutes.
Kind of almost sounds like a boat.
Yeah, like a sail. That's why they call it a sail.
Well, not only the sail, but then the laser part with the propelling it.
Right.
It works in the same kind of motion.
Right. And the problem so far has been a large enough laser.
Oh, okay.
So, but there's a group of physicists that announced
You cannot talk.
They announced that the Breakthrough Foundation would start funding a project to build such a laser.
So that they could use the power from the solar.
No, laser power, not solar power.
No. Yeah, but I meant they get the oomph that they need.
Yeah, it's laser
that.
because
that's what I meant.
The solar is not strong enough to do
right.
it. Because when you get out
laser.
like towards Pluto and stuff,
yeah, kind of losing the light.
Right. So their goal is to build 100 gigawatt laser.
Gigawatt. I can't help but think of
gigawatts.
Exactly. I obviously watch way too many movies.
Yeah, 1.21 gigawatts.
Exactly.
Anyway, the laser it would cover a square kilometer and use as much energy as an average coal power plant makes in one day.
Wow.
So it's a very powerful laser.
Right,
It's 100 gigawatts.
Now, and the purpose and what they want to accomplish with that is just, be able to move more efficiently and quicker.
So the goal is to move a nanocraft.
A
nanocraft. So,
explain for the stupid.
So it
like
would
me.
be a small spacecraft.
That's pretty much what I was. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I was thinking in my head. I just want to make sure
it won't be able to carry people due to the incredible acceleration.
Because you'll kill them.
Yeah, if you go 20% the speed of light in 4 minutes, you're gonna be a dot on the.
It's kind of like that roller coaster video game where you can design roller coasters. If you give them too many mocks, that they're gonna just splat against the back of the seat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's kind of what I pictured.
Anyways, and they say this would be able to reach Pluto in about 36 hours.
Wow, really?
And Alpha Centauri in 20 years.
But think of the equipment we could send with that. People can't go, but you could really learn and study so much, and in a time frame that you can actually get it done.
So in your lifetime.
Exactly, in your lifetime, that you can get it done. And with the fact that not only the 20-year thing, but the 36-hour thing, there's so much that opens up every planet, now, obviously, in our solar system.
The problem with sending something to Pluto in 36 hours is you can't slow it down.
So you're just going to whiz right past it, is what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Throw it out the window as fast as you can.
Yeah, so it would be able to send back pictures, but that's really about it. It couldn't do any.
Oh, okay. So
it's designed for interstellar travel, is what this is designed for.
Right, and this is a step in if they can accomplish this, what that will create from this.
If you could take this, scale it up, and reduce the speed,
right?
Maybe
we can explore the planets here.
Maybe you could make Mars in a few days.
Like a plane.
As opposed to, what is it now, like 12, 13 months? I forgot.
I thought it was like almost 2 years. Yeah.
It depends. So
Not quite.
Yeah, but if you could make it in a few days or even a couple weeks.
Right.
As opposed to months and months and months.
Opens up the door for so much more just from this.
Right. And if you could set up a similar station on Mars, you could send people
receive
back.
And exactly.
So this is
you could really get some interaction going on a regular, ongoing basis, and really get exploring done. And with that in mind, if it only were to take a couple days to get to Mars, that doesn't have to stop at Mars. Okay, the planet's got to be able to be touchable,
right?
Condition wise, but it totally opens up opportunities just for equipment going into other places.
Right. So then maybe we could go to Europa and actually do something there, because they think there may be life in the oceans of Europa. We don't know.
That would be so cool to check that out.
Yeah, but it takes so long to get there.
Right, and it's a big step. So basically, this is like the very beginning building blocks of what can be created from this, I guess you could say. Yeah.
So that's really cool.
That's very cool.
If you're like me, you may have been a fan of shows like Ghost Hunters, Paranormal State, or Ghost Adventurers, but at some point you said to yourself that these shows are complete crap. They're superstition masquerading as science. But don't worry, I'm here to shed light on these shows and point out their flaws using skepticism, the scientific method, reason, logic, and a little bit of humor. This is Paranormal Skeptic Academy, and it can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, or at ParanormalSkepticAcademy.com.
And welcome back to another segment of Yak from the Past with Tom. Welcome back, Tom.
Hello.
It is great to have you back with us. We missed you last week.
I know. Everyone misses me when I'm gone.
Yeah. So you have something interesting for us this week. A bit of history that's coming back around.
Yes. Do you want to do my... Let's do my book of the week. And then
Oh, yeah, your book of the week. I always forget that.
Book of the week, man. So my book of the week this week is The Landscape of History by John Lewis Gaddis. And it is kind of an introduction to thinking historically. So if you want to think about things historically, this is kind of how you do that. And it uses the metaphor of map making to describe the historian's craft. And it's really good. It's only about 150 pages, so it's not a super long read. But it's really, really well written. So I recommend that.
Okay, excellent. So I'll put that link on the show notes. Cool. So let's get back into some history.
Yeah. So you have I think you said you have the article in front of you, but Newt Gingrich made some interesting comments the other day on Fox News.
Yeah, he said something interesting that really, really kind of caught my attention. He said, we originally created the House Un-American Activities Committee to go after Nazis, right?
Yes, and he was talking about this in the context of creating basically a new version of that to go after Islamic extremists and Islamic terrorists.
Yeah, he said something about passing several laws and going after Nazis. And now he's thinking about using that for, going after Muslim extremists?
Yeah, going after Muslim extremists. That was the context in which he was talking about it. And granted, it was on Fox, so...
Well, yeah, but it's Newt Gingrich.
And Newt Gingrich is kind of an idiot.
Well, yeah, we know that.
But I heard that he's like a favorite for being like vice president. I don't know how true that rumor is because I don't really pay that much attention to Republicans. But
that would not surprise me one bit.
what did you called it something?
Oh yeah, the preacher and the shit given.
The shit given thing just kills me.
Yeah.
So Newt wants to bring back the House Un-American Activities Committee because clearly being a Muslim is un-American.
Obviously.
So I decided that for this week's segment, I would go and look at the House Un-American Activities Committee.
Okay.
The HUAC, which is a difficult acronym, was formed in 1938 to investigate disloyalty among American citizens. So Newt Gingrich mentions in his interview that the committee was formed specifically to hunt down fascist sympathizers and Nazis. But that isn't entirely true. Shocker. It was formed to investigate anyone with fascist, socialist, or communist ties. In fact, in 1938, everyone's favorite dead Republican, Ronald Reagan, appeared before the committee. Sorry if that offends anybody. I thought that was funny.
Well, yeah. So Ronald Reagan, the epitome of the Republicans, was brought before this committee. Why?
Yes. So there was a memo issued by the HUAC that states that Reagan, who was president of the Screen Actors Guild at the time, would be a, quote, splendid witness, despite being, quote, reticent, I'm probably butchering that word, to testify.
No.
On account of being a New Deal liberal.
Okay, so Reagan was a New Deal liberal?
According to Reagan and according to this House memo, yes.
Wow. That's an interesting shift.
Well, he's a great actor.
That is true. He was really good.
Yeah. So it wasn't just Nazis that the HUAC was after. It was also after anyone who was too far left on the political spectrum, like socialists and communists, of which the Screen Actors Guild and the Hollywood in general was kind of associated with communist propaganda.
Right.
Kind of still is today. We're all a bunch of dirty liberals.
Yeah, liberal Hollywood. That's what we always hear.
So it's interesting, though, in the interview, the Newtster, he brings up FDR as being part of the HUAC fight against un-American activities. It's interesting that Newt says that because the committee was actually formed as part of a conservative reaction against FDR's New Deal policies.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because FDR was more left-leaning.
Yeah.
Well,
his ideas were, and that the New Deal policies were seen as being socialists, probably because they were, but
right.
they were seen as this, so therefore they were bad, and there was a big kind of conservative action. So the HUAC was part of that reactionary anti-FDR kind of feel.
Right.
unfortunately for them, FDR was an extremely popular president.
Yeah, I'm sure that didn't go over well.
Yeah, so their work did little really to undermine his administration. They didn't accomplish much in their first few years. I think they ended up finding a couple Nazi sympathizers, but other than that, they didn't really accomplish anything. They really took off after the death of Roosevelt and the end of World War II, which is, of course, the start of the Cold War with the Soviet Union. In 1945, it became a standing committee in the House of Representatives. It wasn't a standing committee before. It was just formed annually. So the committee did not have any powers to charge people with crimes because it's legislative, not judicial. But it did use intimidation and blacklisting to ruin the careers of people it found guilty or uncooperative.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say they could easily blackball somebody, and they would be pretty much ruined. Yeah.
They actually, I believe, if I remember correctly, they tried to do that to Charlie Chaplin. And the only reason it didn't work is because Charlie Chaplin's super famous.
Right.
So he was able to kind of bounce back from it. But especially in Hollywood, people who were less famous, it ruined careers.
Interesting.
Yeah. Harry Truman actually... Oh, I'm jumping here. Way to go, Tom.
Getting your history out of history.
I am. I'm getting my history out of order. I didn't edit my notes properly. Anyway, so the most famous investigation undertaken by the HUAC was the investigation of Alger Hiss. In 1948, Hiss, who was a federal employee, was accused of being a secret communist and a Soviet spy by Whittaker Chambers, a former member of the Communist Party of the United States. Hiss denied these charges and testified before the HUAC, which was being headed at the time by Richard Nixon, who's another lovely character.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he was a junior congressman at the time. Hiss testified that he had never been a communist or a member of the Communist Party of the U.S., and he even said that he had never even heard of Chambers until this whole thing started taking off. So, long story short, because I have limited time, Chambers was able to produce evidence known as the Pumpkin Papers, because they were hidden inside of a pumpkin. So he was able to produce this evidence against Hiss, who was then indicted and convicted of perjury. The papers basically showed that Hiss had actually been a member of the Communist Party.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he was indicted and convicted for perjury, for perjuring himself before Congress. Hiss served about 4 years in prison. He was released in 1954. So that was the most famous investigation that went on with the HUAC. In 1992, Hiss asked Russian officials to look through the newly opened archives of the former Soviet Union. So in this investigation, Russian historian Dmitry Volkogonov, I'm probably butchering that, announced that there was no link between Hiss and the Soviet Union.
So kind of cleared his name a little bit.
Well, the archives of the Soviet Union, not all the archives were open at the time.
Oh, okay. So there still could be something.
Yeah. Now, in 1996, the United States declassified Soviet cables that were intercepted during World War II. And these cables basically proved that Hiss was actually guilty.
Oh, so he was guilty. All right.
Yeah. So calling the HUAC activities witch hunts, which I think is what people probably associate with that, is probably too strong a word. However, they were certainly fueled to a certain extent by fear and paranoia, especially during the late 40s, 1950s. So after their debacle with Senator Joe McCarthy...
Yeah, I was going to ask, isn't he... Most people consider him related heavily with the...
Yeah, he used the HUAC as kind of his go-to guide for his own anti-communist activities. He wasn't a member of that because he's a senator, not a member of the House.
Okay.
But it was the same kind of dynamic. He used their methods. However, McCarthy's definitely were witch hunts. But McCarthy ended up basically screwing himself over by trying to go after the U.S. Army and trying to go after top officials in the U.S. Army.
Right.
For communist sympathizers, and the Army basically put the smackdown on Joe McCarthy.
Well, that's an interesting correlation there, because we consider them witch hunts, and the witch hunts basically ended when they decided to go after top officials like governors' wives.
Yeah, when they went after governors' wives, it really, really happened when he went after the Army. He tried, because the Army was very popular.
Well, I was making a correlation to the Salem witch trials.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a whole other subject.
Well, I know, but It's interesting that the correlation even follows how it failed eventually.
Yeah, once they go after major political opponents, and it's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Once the judge starts getting looked at, then the judge is like, no. So after that whole deal, the HUAC switched its focus to domestic terrorism and just kind of eventually faded from public view. In 1969, it was actually still around. It was denounced as the most un-American thing in the country today by former President Truman.
Oh, wow.
And in 1975, the committee was abolished and no longer around, really, in any form. So
that's really interesting that Truman considered it the most un-American thing in the country, and now we've got, as you put it, the Newtster wanting to bring something back.
Yeah. Like I said, it's kind of complicated. Like with the Hiss thing, it kind of looks like, all right, it worked, and they found somebody who was associated with Soviet espionage. But at the same time, they were also trying to blacklist, actors or
right
for having differing political views. So
right.
There is a kind of witch hunt-esque quality to it, which is, of course, what the Republicans would just love to have something like this today to go after Muslims.
Right. It sounds to me like they were using it heavily to silence dissenting speech.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is my spiel for this week.
Cool. I'm glad I learned a bit about the House Un-American activities.
Yeah, and bring it back. Make America great again.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about
that was sarcasm for those.
We're going to talk about making America something again.
Are you?
Yeah.
What did the shit Gibbon do now?
No, it wasn't him. Just listen for the Potter Award later.
Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, Tom.
Yep.
I am an old man, and most people hate me, but I don't like them either, so that makes it all even.
All right. Time for another Potter Award.
It is a Potter. I do believe we are coming up on a Bailey soon.
Oh, yeah. We'll
just to let you know.
We'll probably have one.
I was going to say, you have work to do.
I do. I've been busy.
I know. I'm just telling
Potters
you.
are much easier to find.
Yes, because there's so many of them.
Well, I have an excellent one for you this week.
Do you now?
Yes.
Okay.
This week's award goes to Rick Tyler, who is running for Congress in Tennessee.
See, that is exactly how you introduce a Potter Award winner.
Fine,
Thank
whatever.
you very much.
Whatever.
You tell who it is and where they're
Fine.
from. Good. Get on with the show.
Last week, he released several billboards for his campaign, which said, "Make America white again."
Holy crap. Seriously?
Seriously.
Make America white again because it's run out of whites? Is that what he's thinking?
He wants, according to him, which I have some audio we're going to play in a minute.
Okay.
According to him, he wants to take it back to the way it was in the 60s. He wants Leave It to Beaver. He wants
segregation.
Yeah.
And hangings and whippings. Okay, that wasn't, well, that was somewhat in the 60s, yes.
Yeah.
He wants to take it farther back than the 60s, I think.
Well, maybe.
Is he crazy?
Yeah, he wants to take it back to pre-desegregation.
Right.
What he basically wants is voluntary segregation. He's saying if you don't want to hang out with black people, you don't have to. You don't have to live in the same neighborhood as them.
So,
but
how is that supposed to work?
Yeah, how do you enforce that?
Well, that's what I'm sitting here thinking. I'm like, wait, how is that supposed to work? I mean, that doesn't even make any sense.
Anyway, I have some audio because the signs were recently removed.
Oh, okay.
So this is from WCRB in Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the putting up of a billboard like this, this is First Amendment 101.
It didn't take long for the billboard saying "Make America White Again" along Highway 411 in Polk County to get people talking, which is exactly what congressional candidate Rick Tyler wanted.
I was expecting it to do exactly what it has done. I was expecting it to go viral, to spread far and wide.
And it has. Pictures of the billboard have been shared thousands of times, but not always because they agree with him.
If I see a sign that say, "Make America White Again," it offends me also, much less people of other ethnicities and different colors, they're especially offended probably.
I believe in an integrated America. I have lots of friends who are different races and nationalities, and I love them to death.
The plaza where the billboard used to be displayed is now generating a lot of traffic.
Just wanted to see it and take a picture of it and hoping I could actually meet him.
But for many people, the message is not welcome.
We love our people and our customers, so please don't think that is in any way associated with us.
Rick Tyler says the message is referring to the 1960s era, a time he believes was a better America, and more predominantly white. Tyler says the comment is not meant to be racist.
As far as things being offensive, hey, get over it. The world is offensive. There are things that offend me.
The billboard is down, but the owner will not confirm why. Tyler hopes it goes back up soon.
If I could, I'd have hundreds of these billboards up all over the 3rd District.
So,
wow.
There you go.
I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Okay.
This guy, I'm not a racist. It is not even close.
As soon as you even start any conversation or sentence with that, you might be a racist.
Yeah, I'm not a racist, but.
Exactly. I'm not this, but
this
I
guy
don't
is
mean to hurt your
worse.
feelings, but.
Because he's intentionally doing that. It's not,
I was
I'm
going
not
to say,
a racist, but
he likes that he's doing
Right.
this. He's proud of it.
Yeah, and he wants more of them.
And get over it,
Yeah.
according to him.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not even the worst thing he's done.
Okay.
On his website, he has a selection of audio that apparently is a collection of his ads.
Okay.
Which are ironically called An Intelligent Conversation About Race. I took time to listen to a few of these and decided to summarize them.
Oh, okay. Too much?
We might play a couple.
Okay.
Actually, we will play 2 because those are the fun ones.
Okay.
So the first one was called Moonwalk.
Okay.
He is saying that white people put man on the moon and black people gave us the moonwalk.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Seriously?
And without superior intellect of Caucasians, those primitives would still be using stone hammers.
Holy really?
Yes, that's what he said.
Oh my gosh. This guy is. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Then another one, double standards.
Mm-hmm.
Claims the deck has been stacked, says that entities like BET, NAACP, Black Congressional Caucus, and the Black Church are examples that the deck has been stacked against whites. Because, this is almost a direct quote from him,
Okay.
there would be outrage if there were white entertainment or the NAAWP.
Say what?
National Association of White People.
Yeah, but
North American Association of White People.
there would be outrage if these existed?
Yes.
White entertainment TV?
Yes.
Does he not watch TV very much?
I don't know. White entertainment TV existed up until like 1974.
Well, I was going to say it wasn't until
But he wants it. Remember, he wants everything to go back to
the way it was.
Leave It to Beaver and Mayberry and
Yes,
Yeah.
those TV shows.
So there weren't a lot of black people on those shows.
There wasn't a lot of truth about how life works in general on any
Exactly.
of those television shows. It was all candy washed.
Exactly.
I mean, not only was it, all whites and everything's hunky dory and lovey dovey, when in the real world, that's not how the world was going down.
Right.
But none of that was real. The television back then was all candy coated and fake. And anyways, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But
he says this double standard would cease when white. This is a direct quote, by the way.
Okay.
When white Americans say no more.
Uh-huh.
When we stand up as white Americans and say we're not going to take any more of this black entertainment TV or the NAACP or black churches.
Wow, this guy's got a problem, man.
Well, don't take my word for it.
Oh,
Let's start with one called White Flight.
Okay.
Hello, fellow Tennesseans. This is 3rd District Congressional candidate Rick Tyler with today's intelligent conversation about race. In previous installments, we have talked about white fright and the white flight it leads to. Today, our topic is white fight. Because you see, at some point, the white race must unite in solidarity and fight for its very security and survival. We are rapidly running out of places to which we can retreat. And in case you haven't noticed, non-whites are not overly adept, kind, or benevolent when either through affirmative action or outright capitulation on the part of whites, such as in South Africa, they gain the upper hand. Typically, white genocide will wind up being the natural outgrowth of such a tragedy. In 1965, the Caucasian race numbered roughly 1/3 of the world's population, while today we are a mere 10% and plunging even further downward. In the same time frame, we have gone from an 85% supermajority in America to a dwindling 60%. Indeed, the future appears grim for that great and noble Caucasian race which has been so blessed and favored by Almighty God. He may yet save us, but only if we are willing to fight. This ad has been paid for by Rick.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I love how he gives all these statistics so it sounds intelligent.
And they're wrong.
That doesn't surprise me at all, actually. Is he kidding me?
So, yeah. He said some pretty awful stuff in there. Let's see if I can break down part of it. Caucasians are the superior races. Did he say that?
Is that what it was?
That's
I know
that's kind of what it sounded like.
That Caucasians are dwindling and we're in the middle of genocide or something like that.
White genocide.
The white genocide. Wow.
Okay.
And obviously he devotes his every breath to this.
Yeah, I think so. Here's another wonderful one for you.
Soundbite.
Hello, fellow Tennesseans. This is 3rd District Congressional candidate Rick Tyler with today's intelligent conversation about race. In our last commentary, we addressed the phenomenon of white flight, which occurs reflexively when Caucasians sense danger from the growing presence of blacks. With white mass exodus comes a cause and effect result of brain drain, which in turn leads to the dissolution of the viability of a neighborhood, city, or even potentially the entire nation. White flight and brain drain are the mechanisms through which American cities such as Detroit have become reduced to a mere glimmer of its past successes and splendor. Of course, blame is never assigned to those who are incapable of handling the sophisticated apparatus that has been turned over to them. Instead, condemnation is heaped upon those racist whites who didn't want to live under black rule. Meanwhile, cities such as Detroit become a veritable wasteland of poverty, corruption, and violence. Most frightening, however, is the prospect of Detroit representing the potential fate of the nation as a whole. This ad has been paid.
Okay.
WTF.
Yeah, I know.
Seriously.
So this guy is saying when white people leave, the collective IQ of an area drops.
Wow.
That's basically what he said. Which destroys the economy, which kills a city. Yeah. Complete and utter ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This guy is off his rocker and he is in a position of power.
Not yet.
Or he hasn't.
He hasn't won.
I know he's running. Okay.
But he hasn't won. He's running.
So, but he hasn't held a position,
No.
anything like this yet?
No, but he seems to think he can. So.
Well, where he's at is kind of questionable.
Yeah, he's in Northeast Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not going to torture you with any more audio from this guy, but I will give you some more titles.
I take it there's a lot.
Oh, there's 7 or 8. And they're all about a minute
He
long.
likes to hear himself talk, doesn't he?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
So, one is called The Browning of America.
Wow.
White Genocide.
He likes that word.
Yeah. And The Color of Crime.
Seriously?
Yeah, in which he says that black people are more likely to commit crimes against whites and are intrinsically more violent than whites.
Oh, that's such BS.
Yes, I know.
Has he seen... Okay, we lived in North Carolina, and I'm sorry, there is quite a bit of the crime that happens that are not from, what he seems to think. I love how he seems to think that whites are these angelical, could never do anything wrong kind of people. Are you kidding me?
Apparently.
Seriously.
So, in fact, he has one more thing that really bothers me.
Okay.
Aside from the other stuff, which
Right.
is horrible, horrible stuff.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
He has a section of his site that is just 100% lies.
Okay.
And propaganda.
Uh-huh.
One is a pamphlet titled Black Invention Myths, in which he claims every single invention credited to black inventors were actually made by white people.
Holy crap, seriously?
And they were stolen to make the black race seem smarter.
Oh, this guy's a prick.
Yeah. Including some of these wonderful discoveries. An auto oiler.
Oh,
oil
okay.
clicker, right? Blood plasma was discovered by a black man. Don't remember the name.
Uh-huh.
But he says it was a white guy.
And what is he basing his facts on?
He claims that there were similar patents previously.
So he claims behind the black man's invention, there was
Really a white guy.
a white guy.
Yeah.
Like behind every good man is a woman, a good woman.
Yeah, sometimes.
Or a powerful man, there's the woman running it, really.
Yeah. Other things like the egg beater and everybody's favorite peanut butter.
Uh-huh.
That he claims all those were actually made by...
Well, he
And
claims...
peanut butter is interesting because he claims Kellogg invented peanut butter.
Oh, white.
Yeah, not just white. Holy crap, white. Super white, super Christian.
Super rich.
Yeah.
But, so he basically, in his eyes, thinks that absolutely no black person, and I'm not saying just a man, because women invent shit too.
Yeah, I know.
Any black person cannot invent something, has not invented something.
He believes they don't have the mental capacity to actually invent things.
In that aspect, he sees them as a completely different, almost like a different species, if you want to go that far, because
what
he
it sounds
thinks
like.
that they don't have the brain capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, this guy is, it's like you think he's fake.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how off he is.
Right. So he has run before.
Oh, okay. How'd that go?
He got like 0.05% of the vote.
So he's doing it again,
He's
thinking
doing
he'll
it
get a little
again.
more.
Yeah. He thinks that he deserves to win.
The man is I mean, I actually think he's kind of mental.
Guess who he supports for president?
Oh, let's take that guess.
Make America Great Again.
Oh, hallelujah.
Which has, in a lot of terms, sound very much like this guy's platform.
I could definitely see that.
You change out a couple words and you got a Trump platform.
God, could you imagine? Just stop and pause for a minute. Trump wins. He's running the country, and you have all these kinds of people who are in support of him and the things that they've done, the way that they think, and now that's going to run the country for the next 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, I'm moving.
Yeah, well.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Because I don't know to laugh or cry if that were to actually happen.
I know.
I mean, seriously.
Anyway.
But I honestly think this guy sounds like he really does genuinely sound a little off. I mean, sounds like he's missing a few screws in his head.
I don't know, but according to his website, he's a pretty horrible person.
Well, and that's just the thing of it. I mean, not only is this how he feels and stuff, but he, like, has it set in his head, like, that this is how it should be, this is how it must be, this is how it will be.
Right.
And that whites are the only... Does he have issue with Hispanics or
it doesn't say
Asian?
That, but I'm assuming...
He just seems to pick on blacks.
It seems to be that way. I didn't find anything...
Well, that's what I was wondering, if he has issues with... Because he talks about whites.
I have this feeling that there's not a lot of Hispanics or Asians in Northeast Tennessee.
Yeah, but he knows that they're in the country. That's
yeah,
why
but they don't affect him directly.
Why can't people think past their own bubble?
I don't know. I didn't see anything, and there's nothing on his site that says he is anti-Hispanic.
And when you think about it, technically, all these people that he's saying need to dominate the country, all the whites, they're not entirely white.
No.
I mean, look at your backgrounds.
Yeah. Well, it's like a friend of mine, Travis, says, we're all shades of brown.
Yeah.
So.
I can't understand people at all. I just can't.
And for these reasons, this guy was like the Potter Award. There was no question this week when I found.
Oh no, he's in your face about this. Yeah. I mean,
he wants to change.
And
things.
he doesn't care. Like he said, get over it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm offended all the time. Get over it. That's very Potterish.
Yes. And that's all the Yak Ain't got for you this week.
We will yak at you again next week. See you then.
We always like to hear your feedback, so leave us a voicemail at 704-802-YAK or an email at podcast@secularyakking.com.
More input.
All comments are welcome. We like to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. You also can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Google+.
If you like our show, head over to your podcast directory of choice and leave us a 5-star review. If you really like the show, support the show on our Podbean patron page.
I'd buy that for $1.
And we'll be back next week with more yakking to please your eardrums.
This show is a member of the Secular Outreach Network, an affiliation of Secular Media Producers. Learn more at secularoutreach.com.